Here's lick of the day number 73. This is an Aeolian alternate into sweep picking lick. And as usual, you can find a link to the tabs in the description below or by clicking right here on the screen. I'm gonna play it slow once and then break it down. We start on the 7th fret of the low E string. Alright, so this lick is based on the Aeolian scale, which is the same as the A natural minor scale, which is the same notes as the C major scale, but we hear A as the root. And you should know these shapes by now. If you follow along, especially if you follow along with the 72 previous licks, a lot of these ones will be based on the 3-note per string fingerings. So if you learn those, it will be just way easier for you to remember and understand everything here. So do yourself a favor, learn those shapes if you don't already know them. So with that said, it's gonna start on the 7th fret and gonna be kind of quick here. So we're gonna go up with 7, 8, 10 on the E and A string, all alternate picked. And basically this is a variation of that easy shred lick that I showed back in, I don't remember, it was a couple of weeks ago, basically where you go, just restart a group of 6 on every string. This is not necessarily an easy one to play because it's a bit more involved than that, especially going into the sweep picking part, but it's based on the same type of sequence, mostly. So we start here with this ascending group of 6, and we restart that here on the A string and go up 7, 8, 10 again, and then we have 7, 9, 10 on the D string, so, and then you have the same on the next string. So all in all we have, then I'm gonna move up to the octave of this note, so the B note, and then we're gonna do the same thing. So basically just mirror what you did here, 1 octave higher. And then to get it into the sweep picking part, we're gonna shift up to the 15th fret and go down 15, 13, 12, both strings. And that's gonna lead us to this note, which you mean technically you could go sweep this one, but I wouldn't recommend that because then you will be sort of having to turn around in the middle of a sweep, which is not good. So keep the alternate going until the downstroke here, but make sure that you get the downstroke into a rest stroke. So I'm actually resting on the B string here, because that really sets you up for the sweep here. And then we just repeat this shape 3 times. And this is just an A minor 7 arpeggio. So we have the A minor here, straight A minor, 14, 13, 12, 1, flat 3, 5, and that's just down, down, down. And then we have the flat 7 here, go back to the flat 3, so we skip this note, and then we go to the flat 7 1 octave higher here. So you have down, 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 up, up, up. So you get some nice big intervals in there, especially here, the descending 5th. So if we put everything together again. All right, so how do you practice this then? Well, do the mechanical work if you have trouble with the initial sequence. And if we translate this sequence then into the mechanical patterns, so I take 1, 2, 3, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is your first video that you watch. What I mean by mechanical work or mechanical practice is basically translating a lick into specific finger groups that's based on the same amount of strings or notes per string that you have in the lick. So this is based on 3 notes per string, so we can use either 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, or 2, 3, 4. Then I just take the actual contour or shape of this lick. It's like if you would look at this in tab, and then you would just mark all the notes and then make everything look like an X. And then you will see how many notes you have per string and the sort of shape that creates. So in this case, we go up like that, and then we move up and repeat again. So basically, if I do that with 1, 2, 3, and my rule for doing this myself is to, whenever I have a position shift, I always shift up a half step. You don't have to do that, you can do a whole step or whatever, but that's what I do. So I want to keep it as simple as possible, because usually my aim for these type of things is to work on the right hand picking pattern a lot, while also making sure that I keep my left hand balanced by going through all 4 fingerings here. So that said, 1, 2, 3 would look like this. Shift. And then we would be into the swept part. And then 1, 2, 4. Shift. And you technically do that as well. And then you do the same thing with 1, 3, 4 and 2, 3, 4. And then you can move up a fret, do it again. And then you might think like, well, that's going to be a shit ton of repetitions, but that's exactly what we're after. So if you start that down here and then do it all the way up, you have a really good workout for this lick. For the sweeping, you can apply the same concept if you want. You just go 3 fingers at a time. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 4. 1, 3, 4. And 2, 3, 4. But you can also just take the shape itself and move it up and down the fretboard, and do it really slowly and try to make sure that everything is as even as possible and you're relaxed. So if I start here on the 1st fret, you can see that. Alright, that's it for this one. If you have any questions, just post them below. Otherwise, like and subscribe and all that stuff. And I hope you enjoyed this one, and see you in the next one.